The one thing that sucks about having bangs is how fast they seem to grow. So today, we're gonna cut our own bangs at home. It often feels like our bangs grow faster than the rest of our hair, and that's not true. All of our hair grows at the exact same length, but the hair that's kind of like in front of your face or in the bang area, whether it's a bang or a curtain bang like I have, you're going to notice that length a lot more than any length you get in the ends of your hair as it grows, making it feel like it grows a lot longer, because even a quarter of an inch can make a big difference to how long your bangs feel. I had my hair done a few weeks ago, but already I feel like my bangs are not as short as I would like them to be anymore. They don't really feel like bangs anymore. And most hairstylists do offer free bang trims, but I am going to do mine at home. Disclaimer, I am a hairstylist, so I'm going to have a pretty easy time with this, but it's actually not that hard if you want to learn how to do it yourself, as long as you follow some rules and use the right tools. First, you need the right tools. You're going to want to have a comb. Any kind of comb is fine. Even if you're going to use a comb like this, that's okay. A comb like this is going to be better, but you want to make sure you've got a comb that has the smaller prongs. This just helps you to create some more tension when you're brushing through the hair. And so if you're only going to have one style of comb like this, get one like this that has the small prongs, not a wider tooth comb, because a wider tooth comb isn't going to be as effective at pulling your hair in the direction that you want it to go for you. Next, you're going to need some scissors, some shears, some hair cutting shears. You have to have good scissors to cut your own hair. Do not attempt to cut your hair with craft scissors, kitchen scissors, anything like that. A proper, very sharp scissor is going to make a huge difference. Now, you can get hair cutting shears on Amazon. I think I have a few linked in my Amazon storefront. They're pretty inexpensive. They're gonna do an okay job for trimming your own hair or trimming your own bangs or giving your kids a haircut, but they're not super sharp. So even if you do buy cheap ones off Amazon, it does help if you take them somewhere that sharpens scissors and knives to actually get them sharpened. Usually the edge is not very sharp, and they will work a million times better if they're sharp. Or you can just go to your local beauty supply and buy a pair. You can usually find pairs for around $50 that are really good quality for what you're going to be using them for at home. They're going to last you a long time. They're not going to need to be resharpened for a very long time. And they're going to help you do a really good job if you are planning on cutting your hair at home on a regular basis. Definitely worth the investment. You also want to make sure you get a clip, because we want to make sure that we're only cutting the hair that we mean to cut and that we can clip all the other hair out of the way. All right, so first we are going to section out our bangs. So today I am going to be trimming my curtain bangs, because that's what I have. I can't show you how to trim another style of bang because I don't have another style of bang. So my bangs are from the center, so we start by just nailing down our center part there. And then I'm going to take my bangs. So bangs are typically sort of like a triangle shape from, 2-3 fingers from your hairline back. Everyone's bang density might be a little different. You might want a heavier bang, you might want a thinner bang. Since we're trimming bangs, logically you probably already have bangs and we're just trimming those up, so you just want to follow the shape of the bang that you already have. Resist the urge to add hair that does not belong. My rule of thumb is it's better to cut less hair and leave some hair out that was supposed to be part of your bangs than to start adding in hair that isn't part of your bangs at all. So now we're going to clip the rest of the hair up and out of the way. And so those are my bangs. And honestly, I'm not going to be cutting them a lot shorter. I really just want to bring them up about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take the very center here, a little bit from either side of the part. This is going to be our shortest length guide, how short we want the shortest corner to be. So we're going to pull that down. Now, we don't want to pull it down with a ton of tension, because remember, if you're pulling it down, your hair does not sit that far down. You want to let it kind of sit naturally, but you also don't want it to sit all loose and wobbly because then the hair is going to be everywhere. So we've used our comb to make sure everything was brushed down using the fine teeth, using minimal tension. And I'm just going to trim off that little, about a half an inch of the hair below my fingers. Now, every time I cut, I am not going to do a blunt straight across. I am going to point cut, very fine point cuts. That's just because I don't want a harsh straight line in my bangs. It's not really wrong to cut straight. It's just a style preference. But if you haven't cut your bangs before, I would suggest starting with point cutting, because point cutting, it's going to look softer and it's going to hide mistakes better. If you just go straight in for a straight cut and you cut the wrong angle, it's going to be blatantly obvious and hard to hide. So you can see the hair there. We are just going to trim about half an inch of that off. So now we've done our shortest guide, so those pieces can go back to their original position. And now we're going to take the hair on the outer corner and I'm going to come up with my longest guide. So for this guy, I'm just going to do the same thing. I am just going to cut off about half an inch of hair, just a little bit. I do suggest cutting off less than you think, unless you know for sure, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, exactly how much hair you want to take off, because you've done this a million times. I would suggest taking off as little as you would consider, and then going back and taking more if you feel like you didn't take enough, because you can always take more, but you cannot put it back. I mean, obviously hair grows, but there's nothing worse than feeling like your hair is shorter than what you wanted. So now we've got our two guides. We're going to take the one section, we're going to use our fine teeth, and we're going to brush it across. Now, if you have fine hair like me, I'm not going to lie to you, it can be hard to find your guide because those hairs you cut are super, super fine. But we can see here, here's my one guide, here's my other guide. So we basically just want to cut off the rest of the hairs from one guide to the other. So we're going to pull the hair across my face in the opposite direction that the hair goes, making sure it's combed all the way from the root. And I'm just going to trim off, triple checking that I am following my guide, not creating any harsh or strong lines. So you can see that's the one side trimmed, and you can see it compared to the other side. Not a huge difference, but my bangs are back where I want them to be. So then we'll just go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Cutting off a tiny bit of your bangs length is going to make a bigger difference than you think it will. And that's why I always encourage you to cut less than you think you're going to need to cut, because if you cut a lot, like I said, you can't put it back. So then we will just check that everything is the same. Got some extra little hairs that aren't part of my bangs. Looks great. They're all trimmed. They're back where I want them to be. I personally prefer to trim my bangs every few weeks before there's too much to cut off, because in my opinion, the more you have to cut off, the more room there is for error. Cutting off a little bit is really a lot easier than trying to cut off a whole inch and making sure that you don't mess up the shape of your bangs. And obviously giving yourself bangs the first time is the hardest job, as opposed to trimming up bangs that you already have. But you technically can use this technique even if you don't have any bangs at all to create bangs. Just make sure you create your shortest guides, connect everything together on that angle, and you should get a really easy and pretty soft side bang. I hope that helps. I hope that that has taught you a simple and easy way for you to do your own curtain bang trim at home. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments or just say hi because I love to hear from you guys. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Like and subscribe because it really helps me out. And check out my shorts or my Instagram or my TikTok for content every single day. Bye guys.